Welcome to Fresh Talk News Channel. Today, we bring you the latest major update. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has declared victory in the federal elections, stating that his country would never yield to the United States. This bold declaration comes after a heated campaign marked by relentless provocations and steep trade tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump. Carney, the Liberal Party leader, issued a powerful rebuke to Trump while delivering a message of unity to a divided nation. He promised to represent everyone who calls Canada home. He said, "As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen." Carney repeated his campaign trail message, emphasizing how dramatically Canada's relationship with the U.S. has changed. "We've moved past the initial shock of American betrayal, but we must never forget the lessons. We have to look out for ourselves, and above all, we must take care of each other," he said. Voters have returned the Liberal Party to power for a fourth consecutive term. However, it's still unclear whether Carney has secured a majority or will need coalition partners to govern. A party requires 172 seats for a majority. CNN affiliate CTV is projecting a minority government, while CBC says it's too early to confirm. Conservative opposition leader Pierre Poilievre conceded defeat early Tuesday, saying Carney had won enough seats to form a razor-thin minority government. At 60 years old, Carney, former central banker and political newcomer, has led a wave of anti-Trump sentiment since taking over the Liberal leadership in a landslide after Justin Trudeau stepped down last month. Throughout the campaign, Carney has strongly opposed Trump's aggressive stance, including his suggestion that Canada become the 51st state. Carney made defending Canada a central pillar of his platform. Poilievre had initially been the favorite, especially after Trudeau's resignation in January amid poor polling numbers, a growing cost-of-living crisis, and internal cabinet dissent. But Trump's tariffs and sovereignty threats turned the election into a referendum on the U.S. president. Poilievre now says his party will work with Carney and others in defending Canada's interests and protecting our sovereignty. "We will always put Canada first as we stand against tariffs and other irresponsible threats from President Trump," he added. Carney had never held public office before becoming Prime Minister. But he brings decades of financial leadership experience, guiding Canada through the 2008 global financial crisis and helping the UK navigate Brexit as the former governor of the Bank of England. His key message has been clear: Canada must forge its own path, independent of U.S. influence. "I understand how the world works," Carney said in an October podcast with Nate Erskine-Smith. "I know the people who run the world's largest companies. I know how financial institutions and markets work, and I'm using that experience for Canada's benefit." Trump's tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, cars, pharmaceuticals, and lumber have pushed Canada's economy to the brink. Carney hasn't sugarcoated the challenges, warning of tough days ahead, especially regarding jobs, but he's pledged to rebuild and strengthen Canada's economy by making the country more self-reliant. "We will build again, new homes, new factories, and new sources of clean and conventional energy," he promised. Carney hasn't ruled out further dialogue with Trump, but he's already working to build closer ties with more reliable allies. In a bold move, his first official trip abroad was to Europe, where he met with French and British leaders to discuss stronger military, economic, and security cooperation. In his early morning victory speech, Carney made his position clear: "When I meet with President Trump, it will be to discuss the future economic and security relationship between two sovereign nations. And I will do so knowing full well that Canada has many, many other options for building prosperity." Experts say many Canadians view Carney as the right leader to handle a trade war with a longtime ally. "In a crisis, it's important to come together and act decisively. That's exactly what we will do," Carney said earlier this month. Another major development on election night was the collapse of the National Democratic Party, NDP, which failed to win enough seats to retain official party status. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh announced his resignation after losing his seat. Before stepping down, Singh said, "Carney has an important job ahead, to represent all Canadians and to protect our country and sovereignty from Donald Trump's threats." This is a developing story and will be updated as more information becomes available. Thanks for watching Fresh Talk News channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more news and updates.